Hi, I'm Peridot Person, and everyone knows how much I love Tally Hall.
I love Tally Hall.
But sometimes I go back and listen through the albums and think to myself, is this actually a good album, or am I just autistic? So today I decided to go through the band's debut record, Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, song by song, to see if it still holds up nearly 4 years after I initially discovered it. Originally released in 2005, the Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum that we know and love today was re-released in 2008 with a fresh coat of mastering. Having 14 tracks similar to the other LP released by the group, Marvin's is the quintessential Tally Hall album, which demonstrates their avant-garde sound, creative lyricism, and appeal to nerds and indie fans everywhere. So, let's begin from the start, shall we? If I had a nickel for every one of my favorite albums which begins with the song Good Day, I'd have 2 nickels. This version of Good Day was written by Green Tide Tally Andrew Horowitz, and it won him $10,000 in scholarship money after submitting it to the BMI John Lennon Scholarship. Being one of the first songs ever written for Tally Hall, Good Day has seen its fair share of success outside of the scholarship win, with it appearing live on The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, as well as being featured in the television show The OC. I wonder if another song from this album will be featured on The OC. Now, is the song actually good enough to deserve all this popularity? Opening up with a fantastic hook, which locks you in for the ride that is the rest of the album, Good Day is an extremely solid opening track. In fact, it's in my top 2 best opening tracks for any Tally Hall albums. Is it better than Never Meant to Know? That's a decision for another video. Beginning with Rob, Zubin, and Joe's vocals layered over each other leading into a piano riff, the song bombards you with electric sound during the Let Us Sing portion between verses. In terms of meaning, I'm honestly not too sure. The lyrics are fairly vague, with phrases like, but we know that this song is not about a no or yes or why, so it leaves a lot of meaning up to interpretation. The alt-rock sound, which is predominantly featured in the track, slows during the chorus, as Rob sings about time and how failure will eventually lead to success, I think, until the bridge hits. The boys say a lot of nonsense which can be hard to decipher until you isolate it, but when you do, you're hit with some treats of lyricism, such as
2 scissors and a computer, then you can become a...
Following this are more vocals layered over the band, asking the listener to give the album a chance and to let us sing. All in all, it's a fantastic opener to the album, and it's a fantastic single to start your Tally Hall journey on. You know, there's a lot of interesting facts about this song.
Hey!
Oh god, what?
Don't waste your audience's time with fun facts. Regardless of how fun they are, and most of them have either left already or looking at their phones.
But I want to talk about the song more. What do you want me to do? Put on Subway Surfers gameplay?
Fine, you get 15 seconds.
Only 15 seconds? Okay, well, while filming the music video for Good Day, Joe and Zubin got mugged and beat up, and Joe showed the bloody shirt and tie. You can see the tallies when they were little in clips of home videos. It was originally titled Good Day with like the greening, but with no space between the 2 words. It was featured in The Sims 2 with all 5 members singing in Simlish, and one of the background singers during the choir portion called Donald Middleton III. Okay, on to the next song. I personally think that the first 3 songs in Marvin's are a perfect representation of Tally Hall's style. Good Day shows off the wonky rock or fblue side of their music, Welcome to Tally Hall shows that they're not afraid to have fun with their work, and Greener shows that they're also unafraid to have some serious, regular sounding songs too. Being originally released in 2003, Greener predates some of the earliest Tally Hall songs by being one of the 4 tracks released on the Party Booby Trap EP. Yeah, that's what it's called. The Rob-written song closely resembles the sound of his prior band, Listed Black, as well as hinting as to what some of his solo work would go on to sound like. Behind the upbeat guitar riff, which was popular among the group to play live, the lyrics tell the story of a man who is losing his relationship with the woman he loves. It seems that they tried to get a long-distance relationship to work between the 2 of them, but unfortunately the woman has started to move on as she slowly stops calling him. The man takes this extremely hard, saying that it feels like forever between calls, and that whenever she goes without him, it breaks his heart. Even though these are some pretty sad lyrics, the sound of the song is extremely fun to listen to. Rob will go on to write more songs like this, both on Good and Evil as well as Not a Trampoline, and it's cool to see his songwriting skills develop through his discography. A friend of mine always referred to Tally Hall as being a boy band. When I would ask why, she'd say that they were wearing matching clothing, and they all met in college, and they have a song where they literally introduce themselves in a self-referential ballad. I couldn't deny this, but that last point especially hurt. I've gotten some strong words about my placement of this song since my Tally Hall ranking video, but you all will be happy to know that since then, this song has greatly grown on me. Featuring the one and only Marvin giving a speech introducing the listener to his marvelous mechanical museum, the song opens with some fun arcade ambiance and some 8-bit music until Rob Cantor asks if he can get a tea. He invites everyone to come on down to Tally Hall and say hello to the Marionette Quintet. It seems as though he's talking about the band as though they were one of the many attractions in the museum, one of which has 5 automatons which play music. Then they introduce themselves, what instruments they play, and another fun thing about each of them. They go through several verses with different sounds and vocal cadences, one of them being Joe singing in a bad British accent, which shows how ridiculous the band can get. The song closes with the audience applauding, and it perfectly transitions into Taken for a Ride. All in all, it's a super fun song to listen to, an especially good one to play live. I could just imagine everyone singing and clapping along in the final lyrics, and seems like a good time. Alas, it will never be again. Anyway, here's some more fun facts. Never mind, go look up fun facts yourself. Another Andrew song opens with a piano riff and a mechanical voice singing some interesting lyrics. Following the footsteps left by man, he stepped to reprimand the mystic who's sadistic? I don't know. Among other lines, this is an example of how strange the lyricism can get on this song. My best guess is that it's about being happy in a relationship which no longer exists, and that both parties eventually fell out of love with each other. The chorus provides a moment of clarity in which the character in the song talks about how a single smile used to make him feel okay, but now the chemistry between the two has gone away. Taken for a ride. This song also has a fairly extensive backing instrumental group, including a French horn, a tuba, a saxophone, and even a cello. It's an absolute banger from start to finish, and it's great to see Andrew playing it live nowadays. Maybe someday he won't have to push a button to play Rob and Joe's vocals. Maybe someday. As excited as I am about TikTok getting banned, sue me. I have to give it some credit for giving Tally Hall some more popularity. The song itself describes some sort of future or seedy auction where men sell themselves to get into a relationship, and shows each man ringing their praises so that he'll get picked. It certainly takes a lot of convincing, as no one seems to be making any bets. Regardless of what the men say they'll do, being a willing servant, spending every dime on them, or just being smart, no one's biting. The chorus shows this in a fast-paced rhythm similar to how auctioneers talk, saying, going once, going twice, every man here has a price, over here, over there, sold to not a single lady here. By the end of the song, someone ends up being sold, but it's never told who. It's a pretty fun song, but in a fairly unpopular opinion, I don't think it's great. It's catchy enough, but there's nothing extraordinary about it. I'd understand if people liked it, though, because it's enjoyable.
You just made a very poor take. Now you'll get a load of hate comments, my friend.
Well, I think this next one will make up for it. A year ago, I reacted to this song like this. So, do I still feel the same way? No, in fact. The song is fairly country sounding, but that's not a bad thing. As Brad Taste in Music said, this is one of the whitest songs you've ever heard, but come on man, it's fun. It's about a father trying to get his child to come out of the womb and enjoy all the wonders of life, while also being able to be interpreted as someone trying to help their friend out of a rough place. The guitar riff is catchy as hell, and I have no idea what I was thinking the last time I ranked this track. I think part of me didn't want to accept that I liked it as much as I did, because a lot of people were whispering into my ear about how bad it was. Lyrically, it's pretty simple, but it's still a sweet song. Rob's vocals are fun and very enjoyable to listen to, plus the bridge ba ba ba's still hold up as the best part of the song. I love myself some harmonies. I don't care for this one.
Oh, and we're back.
While Joe says that this song has absolutely no hidden meaning whatsoever, and that this song is just about balancing work and fun, and that there's no reasoning for the weird tribal chants and mildly racist sound, and that there's absolutely nothing to do with drugs and addiction in this song, wink! I don't know, it's just pretty bad. I don't enjoy listening to it, and it's probably my least favorite Tally Hall song. Burn me on the stake. This may be another unpopular opinion, but I dig Just Apathy. Originating back from Rob's college years while in the band 540, Just Apathy is a song about a one-sided relationship with scenes to end in tragedy, but it still manages to sound upbeat at parts. With a slower acoustic-sounding intro, Rob's calming voice fully juxtaposes the insanity that was the prior track with the heart-wrenching yet calm lyrics. As it moves into the chorus, Rob explains how everything he tries to do doesn't appease his lover, and an orchestral backing track begins to make itself present. It's honestly one of the most beautiful parts of the album, which I think is severely underrated. As it goes back to the verse, the production cuts everything out but a guitar until the chorus returns with a stronger sound. The bridge is an absolute banger, and wow, this song is just so underrated. I can't believe I put it so low back in my original Tally Hall ranking, as it is a lot better than I gave it credit for. If you haven't heard it in a while, give it a listen and see if it's better than you remember. Also, here's a fun fact, I'll be fast. This song was also submitted to the John Lennon Scholarship and actually won a grand prize. Even though Good Day may overshadow this, it's still a neat achievement. Spring in a Storm is regarded by many as the best song off of Marvin's. And they're right, but for good reason. It's a powerful track all about the complexities of life, and if an individual's life has any meaning, or if they'll just return to the cycle of life and death. It starts with someone singing in the rain, but as they think about the storm above, the bigger the world becomes to them, and they sort of have an existential crisis. As an explosion of sound hits after a few verses, the band really digs into the anthem, as the man wonders if it's even worth trying to live on. However, he thinks about the universe and realizes that every living thing cycles into the generations after them, and that they'll live on in one way or another, and he finds peace. Closing the song, an explosive outro plays as the man says that everything repeats over and over and over until everything will finally be gone. It's an extremely emotional song, but still finds some humor in it as a group of children are heard asking the moon what he thinks happens after death. In live shows, two of the Tallies would sing this in high-pitched voices, and it's pretty fun. Honestly, this is just a fire track. I gave To Love a lot of grief my first time around, but since then it's grown on me a bit. For a song about someone stalking the Olsen twins, it's actually a banger. The song starts fairly innocently with a great guitar riff followed by someone thinking Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen from sitcom fame were hot and that they have a crush on them. This is followed by some more seemingly innocent behavior such as drawing a picture of them and thinking about how they might like him back. However, things take a turn for the weirder as the chorus suggests that this guy wants to enroll in their school just to get to know them. He goes on to say and do increasingly strange things such as fantasizing about holding them in his arms and even finding one of their phone numbers and calling them. She hangs up fairly quickly though. The remainder of the song is just him singing about the twins and how much he loves them. Now this may sound like a super weird song, and it is, but the music behind it is actually fantastic. The harder rock sound fits perfectly with the mania found in The Stalker, and the chorus is fire. It's not my favorite track off of the album, but it is a lot better than I gave it credit for back in my initial ranking. This song is real good. Pretty underrated song, but still real damn good. Okay, I can't keep that up. But Haiku isn't talked about too frequently, and I think that's pretty sad. I play this one pretty often in my concert streams because it's such a fun track both to play and sing. It's written in near perfect haikus, as a majority of the lyrics are written in 5, 7, and 6 syllables respectively. An actual haiku, if you didn't know, is written in 5, 7, and 5 syllables, so this represents the difficulty the singer has with writing a proper haiku for their lover. He sings about how the words always elude him, and that it's hard to write down all of one's feelings with such a constraint. Eventually, he just hums a ditty which happens to be a haiku and calls it a day. It's a fun song which concludes with the idea that sometimes words aren't always enough to portray one's feelings. And the idea of imperfect haikus throughout the verses is genius. They didn't play this song a lot live because of how there's pre-recorded heckling throughout this song, including someone yelling to play the banana song, so they didn't want people actually shouting those things out. Still a nice song. While the madness of Marvin's contained a huge array of genre-defining tracks, the penultimate song really struck a chord with me. The Whole World and You is a song written in an hour by Green Tie keyboard player Andrew Horowitz, meant to be played with toy instruments. For a few years at the start of Tally Hall's existence, Andrew was in a separate group which really appreciated the sound of these toy instruments, and the group of 16 would perform under the title Toy Orchestra, using exclusively the toys. It sounded interesting. While the orchestra eventually disbanded, Andrew carried the song over to Tally Hall. Trying to find a new sound for the song was tricky though, as the toy instruments wouldn't fit the vibe of the band. Initially they almost went with a punk-sounding variation, but that didn't last too long. The version of the song that they went with sounded a lot more like what Toy Orchestra intended with it, having lots of fun-sounding instruments and even the group of people singing along in the final verse. When it comes to the content of the song itself, the lyrics are pretty unassuming, just talking about how great Andrew thinks you are. In fact, you can see a bit of how Andrew wrote this song in an hour in the first sentence where he says sultries instead of stories, but he kept it in for fun. Yes, 13 and Ruler of Everything are completely different songs. Not 13 is just an intro to Ruler and you cannot tell me any different. There's a billion video essays and Reddit posts about the meaning of this song. Go check out Mark But Evil's video for a good one, so I won't go too in depth. Basically, the song is about this one guy named Juno, fighting against the concept of time itself. Juno believes he is this big, strong, independent, and successful person, but time simply laughs at this. Time is literally the ruler of everything. It'll see Juno disintegrate into dust, and time won't care a bit. It's seen everything that ever has or will ever happen, so regardless of how powerful Juno may be back on Earth, they are less than a speck of dust in the eye of time. This song blasted Tally Hall back to popularity due to it being a popular meme on YouTube, and I can see why. It shows how the band can sound great while having seemingly nonsensical lyrics, but the longer you dig into the darker actual meaning, it becomes rather freaky. It's a fantastic song and deserves all the popularity that it has, although it's not my favorite. I think it's a bit overrated personally, but it's still very good. The hidden track at the end of Marvin's kind of sucks. I'm sorry, but it's just not for me. It got hugely popular on TikTok and FNAF animations on YouTube, and it's just so overdone for me. It's a short song about someone losing their lover, and it's alright. I don't know, I just feel like it's a nice epilogue and nothing else. Weirdly enough, this song only has 2 of the members involved, Andrew on keys and Joe doing everything else. It's a neat little bit of bonus content. Speaking of bonus content, let's move on to the bonus tracks. Why is this real? This song is a complete enigma because out of all of the songs released by the band, Mucka Flucking Blucka might be the most commercially successful. It appeared in an episode of The Good Wife as a transition song between an extremely important scene and a scene in the car, which caused it to be commented on by the E! A year later, it won an award for Best Song We're Forced to Comment on for legal reasons. It was even played live by The Roots. Yeah, The Roots. On Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon has heard Mucka Blucka. The song itself is just Ross singing and chicken sounds, and it's not great. It's fun, but it's not a good song. Dream is an instrumental track consisting of the boys making some sounds along with a drum riff. It's a pleasant listen, but doesn't consist of much. It was just made to appear in the Tally Hall internet show in an episode where Andrew dreamt that he was in an elevator. That's about it. And that's Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum for you. It's a fairly wonky album with a lot of big ideas, and they're mostly achieved. This is shown off in tracks like Ruler of Everything and Good Day. However, these songs don't always work out just as they imagined. For instance, I don't care for the bidding, and I especially don't like Banana Man. On average, this album is a solid 6 out of 10 from me. It's a fun album with some genuinely fantastic tracks, but as a whole, it's nothing spectacular. It's still worth a listen, as Tally Hall's quirky energy is one which many people can jive with easily. I can see how some of the songs in this album blew up like they did, but I much prefer the deeper cuts such as Greener and Just Apathy. If you guys like this video format, I'd love to make more album reviews. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment about your thoughts and opinions on Marvin's, and subscribe if you want to. Until next time, I've been Peridot Person. Have a good day.